Hi, and welcome to this new episode in which I'm going to share my pre-performance routine so that you can get inspired by that and apply it into your own so that you can sing, perform, be listened to without any nerves or insecurities. Let's dive into it. Hi, and welcome back to this new episode. This episode actually got inspired from within our community, the Singing Insiders. If you don't know about the Singing Insiders, it's a membership where passionate singers just like yourself come together, where they learn everything that they need to learn about singing, where they get coaching, support, feedback on their singing, monthly master classes, and many other things. But this conversation that I want to have with you today really got inspired from that community because we actually have monthly master classes. And the masterclass from previous month was all about performance anxiety and how to overcome that. Now, before we move any further, I do want to identify what I mean with performance, because many singers, they think when I say the word performance, they immediately go to, oh no, I need to sing on stage. And although that is one kind of performance, it's not what I mean in this context. Performance for me in this context is about letting yourself be heard. And that can be in the shower, singing when someone is home, or even singing alone at home, knowing that your neighbors can hear you. For some singers, that is a very big step. That too is a performance because someone is hearing you, someone is listening. Performance could also be on social media where you're posting songs from you, or maybe even sing on stage, which is like the traditional thing that we see as a performance. So when we were talking about this masterclass around performance anxiety, I was talking about all of those things, letting yourself be heard and all the insecurities and doubts that creep up from that. And so it was a beautiful conversation because in that masterclass, I shared how I prepared to sing on my wedding. I got married about a month ago, maybe already 2 months now. And I sang part of my vows to now he's my husband. That's weird to say that he's my husband, but to my husband. And so the people that attended the masterclass in the Singing Insiders, they were like, whoa, can you please share a recording? This is so inspiring. And then I did share the recording with them. And it was actually really interesting to see how I taught this masterclass about performance anxiety with all those theoretical concepts and then applied that in my own wedding. And so I'm a singer. I've been singing for many years. I've been performing for many years. So I don't mind getting on stage and sing in front of thousands of people. Like I'm good with that. That's really exciting for me. Obviously, I can still learn, but it's not that I suffer from performance anxiety. That being said, singing on my wedding was a total different experience because for me, it wasn't necessarily a show, right? It was opening up my soul to my husband and showing him what was present. And it's one of the most vulnerable things I've ever done, but also one of the most beautiful moments I've experienced. And so I was very grateful for that. And I want to share with you what my preparation looked like so that you can apply that into your own stuff, whether that's singing at your own wedding or singing at someone else's wedding or singing on Instagram or singing in the shower. The preparations that I went through for that moment is something that you can apply to your own stuff. And this is where, in the masterclass as well, we started talking about a pre-performance routine. And I do have to say a little disclaimer before we dive into it, because everyone's pre-performance routine will look differently. And I encourage you to find yours. And so I'm going to share mine so that you can get that inspiration, that you can try things out, And then ultimately, I want you to craft your own. And that's the beauty. So in our Singing Insiders community, people started sharing their own pre-performance routines, and it was such a beautiful, crowdsourcing moment because everyone was sharing, you could craft and make your own and enhance your own. And so that's really what I want for you by sharing my story. Okay? So that's the intention behind it. So listen to this from a place of, what can I take away from this? Be open to new things that might be new for you, and definitely try them out next time that you have a project like that coming up, a performance coming up. Okay? So the first thing that I did was obviously choose a song that I felt comfortable with and that I felt was the song, right? I mean, in this context, it was my wedding, so I instantly knew By Your Side by Sade, or John Legend covered it, is the song that expresses my soul. So choosing the right repertoire is so important, because if you're choosing songs that you do not have a connection with or that you don't feel comfortable sharing, then that can be a big hurdle. So that's really step 0. Step 0 is just choosing the right repertoire. And we can do a whole episode around that, about how to choose the right repertoire, or even put together a set list. And maybe we should do that in the future. But this is step 0, finding the right repertoire that fits you. Then what I basically did was studying the song. And everyone studies the song in a different way. And again, we can do a whole episode about that. And I think we already did. If not, it's coming up. But how you study the song can be different for everyone. Some people like to listen to the original song first and then sing along with the artist and then finding a karaoke track. Other people, they like to get the sheet music and really see where the music is going. So everyone has got their own way of working. What I like to do is listen to it a few times and then I play the piano, so that's easy. I just play it myself. I find the right key. That's really important as well, finding the right key in which to sing your song. And then once that was done, once I started to study the song, it was time to practice it, because I was not playing the keys on my wedding day. It was someone else playing and accompanying me on the piano. And so we had to have a few practice runs with that person. And I think we got together 3 times in total. Twice we did practice at home. And then the 3rd time was a sound check on the day itself. So maybe you need more practice, maybe you need less. That's really up to you. But practice is a really important part of doing a good performance, because let's be honest, say that I ask you to perform tomorrow without any practice, what's the level of stress there? And if I tell you to perform within a month and you have a month time to practice, what's your stress level there? Many people would say that the stress level will decrease the more practice time they have. So practice is such an important thing. And with practice, I really mean put everything into your muscle memory. So muscle memory is a whole other topic that we can talk about too as well. Muscle memory is really about getting that specific way of singing into your body so that your vocal muscles know exactly what to do. For example, when reaching that high note, or they know exactly what to do when going for that riff or that run. So on the performance itself, you don't want to be thinking about, oh, do I need to apply twang, or do I need to apply diaphragmatic breathing. You don't want to be thinking about all of those things. You need to have that into your body, into your muscle memory, so that on the day itself, it almost comes automatically. And this is a very important part, you get to trust yourself. That is oftentimes the most, how can I say this? The piece that is forgotten most of the times with performance. The idea that you can trust yourself. And how can you trust yourself? Well, by putting all those techniques into your vocal, in your muscle memory. And so that's where my next step came in. So I chose the song, I studied the song, I rehearsed it. This is where my mental preparation began. And with mental preparation, it's really what it sounds like. So like any athlete will tell you that they mentally go over their routine in their head in preparation to their performance or competition or whatever it is. And as singers, we can do the exact same thing. So when you're mentally preparing, one of the things you can do, and that's what I did, is visualize your performance and visualize it going perfectly. Everything goes well in that visualization. And the funny thing is that the first time I visualized it, I actually had not a panic attack, but I felt stress in my body. And that felt really weird. I felt nervous. I felt like all tingly, and it just didn't feel right. That was the first time I visualized it. And then I started visualizing it every day. And it's really like visualizing the whole thing from start to finish. I heard what I was singing. I heard the piano. I saw myself standing there. I saw my future, which is now my current husband, before me. I saw it, everything as it was. And the more I visualized it going perfect, the more that feeling of trust came to me. And I was calm. I was ready. I was in my power. And so it's actually scientifically proven that our brain doesn't know the difference between what you imagine or what you visualize and what is happening in real time. So when the time was there for me to sing my song for my husband, my brain had like this feeling of, oh, I've been here already, because I did. In my visualizations, I've been there. And everything went right. So my brain had nothing to worry about. Oftentimes, our brains, they worry because we think something might go wrong. We might forget the lyrics. You might stumble over the microphone cords. I don't know. Like there's this worst case scenarios going on in our heads. But because I did that mental practice before, that actually didn't happen. And I felt on the top of the world might not be the best description, but I was in a flow. I was in the song. I was in my emotion. It was just such a beautiful moment. But all of that was only possible because I did that mental preparation. And obviously the vocal technique preparation as well. And so this last piece of the preparation is something that many singers are missing. And that's the mental part, which is so important. That's why in the Singing Insiders, we spend so much time talking about that inner work. So in a nutshell, choose the right song, then study the song, then not prepare the song, but like practice, that was a word I'm looking for. Practice the song, and then do your mental practice, whatever that looks like for you. For me, that was a visualization. It could be meditation for you. It could be affirmations. Whatever, it could be journaling, whatever that mental practice is for you. It's such an important element of this pre-performance routine. So that was mine. Now I want to challenge you to find yours. What is your pre-performance routine? And what are some elements that you might take away from my story and try out yourself to see if that, helps you? Let me know in the comments down below. Or reach out on Instagram, reach out via email, you know where to find us. So that is your homework for this week. On top of that, I do want to invite you to an upcoming training, which is very important if you are in that second phase of practicing the song and getting techniques into your muscle memory. Because in this free upcoming training, we're talking about the most important vocal technique that you need in order to experience that vocal freedom. And so the training is totally free. You can sign up using the link in the show notes or in the description here down below. I'll link to it. But this is really the techniques that you can use when you're preparing and rehearsing your song. So I would highly encourage you to go and do that as well. So yeah, it was a beautiful experience. Thank you for listening to my story. I hope it helped you. I hope it inspired you. I want to thank you for spending your time here with me. I'm very grateful that we got to do this together. Let me know what your takeaways were, and I'm looking forward to see you here again next week. Thank you. Bye.